we'll get to the red card in a moment, I suppose. But of the game itself, what impressed you the most about your team's performance?
Oh, look, just the attitude. You know, we were clearly really committed on the park. I thought the desire to play and to look for opportunities and attack both with the ball and without the ball, I thought was clear and obvious, and we just stuck at it. You know, it wasn't a picture perfect game in many ways, but I'll tell you what, the attitude and the commitment to run and to scramble, I thought was outstanding. And it's the composure in the heat a little bit, and obviously with the red card, I thought Artie and the guys on the park just went well through that. And then when Artie left, it got carried on by Guz and Bodie. So pretty delighted.
How surprised were you by the red?
I'm pretty surprised, to be honest. So, you know, it's we'll go and have a good look at it. But certainly we'll probably be putting a bit of a case together for that one.
Just on that red, is obviously it wasn't intentional. That was pretty clear. Is there a technique thing or something then that needs to be done if the referees are going to look at that as contact to the head? Is there a technique thing that needs to be worked on then from your ball takers, particularly your back three?
Oh, it's a big long bow to go from a major problem for one thing that just happened once. And look, he just lost balance, and you could see he tilted, and you could sort of see what happened. So look, I feel for the refs in situations like this, because technically they saw things and they make their decisions. So I get all that. So, but now now we've got a chance to sit down and analyse it. We'll have a good couple of conversations. Have we got a technique problem? No, we haven't.
When you look at this performance, the start of quite a long tour for you guys, Fozzie, how important was it to start this tour off with a performance of that calibre?
Pretty important, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was pretty important. It's look, I think everyone knows that, you know, you want to, particularly when you hit the road, you know, we've spoken about a tour like no other in many ways, but to start off with this one is special. But also, you know, we were pretty open and honest about wanting to do 3-0, and we haven't done it much before, and it meant a lot to us. And you know, there's a whole lot of factors. There was a Perth performance a couple of years ago, but really the main driver was the excitement to do something that we hadn't done for a while. So to do 3-0 here and to play in those circumstances, I was delighted.
Artie, your first time captaining the All Blacks, I know you probably didn't end the way you were hoping to personally. How was your head, first of all, but also how was your first experience captaining the All Blacks?
Yeah, no, the head is fine. I just got stood on the face accidentally on the field. So I went off to do a HIA and failed it. So hopefully we'll pass it either tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, truly, like Fozzie said, mate, odds against us, but just truly proud of the boys and how we dug deep today and put a performance like that.
Ian, just without harping on about the Reds, World Rugby weren't keen on the ability to replace a red carded player, but Sansa went ahead and brought that in for the Rugby Championship. Do you think tonight, with a contentious card of that nature, underlines the importance of being able to do that?
Simple answer to that's yes. You know, it's why all the Sansa countries are pretty united in wanting to carry on this global trial. And, you know, it's easy to ask me my opinion because we're the one on the end of it. So we probably benefited from only having a 20-minute red card. So, you know, I get that. But, you know, we were a keen supporter of that even before the games. And I think today's thing probably justifies it.
Just in terms of your depth, you had to dig deep into the squads. Guys like Samasoni, Takiaho, Ethan Blackadder coming off the bench in this match. You already had 3 guys at home. So from that perspective, we take a lot out of it, having brought those guys through and brought them on a lot earlier than you would have otherwise. Yeah,
look, I'm really delighted, and I think you know, in many ways it probably it's probably what we were thinking about initially when we went through the Steinlager series, and we made a few changes regularly to try and give people as much time as we could. And today is the reasons that those sort of decisions pay off in hindsight, where guys are going on and making more changes than probably what we anticipated. And, you know, it's not just, you know, you look at the 5 guys at back, because you include Shannon and that, and you look at the guys, the quality of the guys that came off the field. I was, you know, really pleased. But it's a squad that's worked really, really hard to get role clarity. We're getting there, and let's face it, we did let through a few that probably meant with guys shuffling around positions that we were a bit short on a couple of times. So, you know, it was far from perfect, but the attitude was perfect, and that's the part that makes me happy.
Just last one, quick one. You scored 6 tries, the attack worked well, but everyone seemed to struggle on the goal kicking front, the Wallabies as well. Was it quite windy, or was it just a bit of an off night?
Oh, probably just, there was very little breeze, but it was the bright thing in the sky might have got in the eyes of the goal kickers, both teams. But you know, like, yeah, clearly it wasn't the night for either kickers. But you know, particularly in Bodie's case, you know, if he had to get one of the 2 things right of goal kicking or playing really well, I'm really pleased he got the right one right. I thought he handled the game really, really well. Great decision making, particularly early, and really calm when we're under a bit of pressure with the card. And I think he showed his class. The goal kicking will come right.
Just on a few players, Brad did his best sort of Aaron Smith impression tonight. Must have been pretty happy with how he went in his first sort of really big start.
Was that to me? Yeah. Yeah, no, really pleased. You know, and it was his first big start, so it's never easy. But he's an experienced 9. He's really energetic. He's a big part of this team off the park, and we've got a lot of faith in him. So I was pleased with him. You know, and particularly in the way the game went. You know, we've always talked about having 2 9s that we need a world class performance for 80 minutes from both our 9s together, and I thought we got that. You know, I thought he started well. We kept the pace of the game going nicely, and then I thought TJ was outstanding when he came on, and you know, he brought his composure and his way, and he added a lot to the defence, and picked up a little bit of an intercept with a cross kick that has already got him thinking about he might be another 10 for us. So we'll have a debate about that.
Yes, and another player, Rico, obviously 2019 lost his starting place in the squad, but I mean, you know, you've talked about this year, but obviously he's sort of back to his best ever form. You know, has there been sort of a change in his preparations or anything, or is it just a case of sort of, you know, a guy going through ebbs and flows?
You know, I think it's easy to forget in 2019 that he had a lot of calf injuries that kept him out of the early part of the international season, and by the time he was coming right, it was right at the end of the World Cup. So yeah, you know, he just wasn't fast in 2019. He's fast now, and he's got his speed back. He's got that little swagger that he's pretty proud of. But you know, he's at his best when he's dances around, and he's feeling good. He's feeling comfortable in the environment. But I think too, he's embracing a little bit more of a leadership role. He's embracing the dual task of wing and centre. He's just getting frustrated. It's always a wing on the other side that's scoring the tries.
Yeah, and Artie, one for you. A kid, obviously, you know, it's just gone from strength to strength in the black jersey. You know, is this a case of a guy who just sort of absolutely steps up when he puts on that silver fern, or have you been confident the whole time that, you know, as soon as he got his chance, he'd be sort of a bit of a blockbuster?
Yeah, I think with Aki, you know, there's been a lot of doubters with Aki, and I think just seeing him grow off the field and little things that you kind of didn't really see Aki do, you're starting to see that now, and I think he's just maturing as a man, and you're getting to see the fruit on the field, and yeah, he's an absolute beast and freak, and seeing him out on the wide channels and making tackles is pretty awesome to see. I know for me, like, I've known Aki since the start, and I've always known that was there. It's just around how do we bring that out, and I think you guys are seeing that now.
Ian, how much work have you done in terms of playing with 14 players on the park in recent times, given the red card have been dished out more in recent seasons? So what work have you been doing on the training paddock to allow that?
Oh, well, look, we've got clear scenarios that we work to. They're things that happen on the park. You can't always cover in your scenarios. Otherwise, you'd spend all week doing scenarios. But it's, like I think, like for example, Artie and I had some conversations about a couple of things that could happen, and then really just got to trust the decision making of the guys on the park. So, what happened today, we probably had a clear plan, and sometimes in the past when we've lost a back, we've taken a loose forward off to cover the extra back. We've changed that strategy recently, and then that seemed to have worked well. So we're making some shifts in that sort of space.
And just on the defence, you defended 20 minutes without conceding a point. In fact, that first try came after you're back to the full strength, but you must be pleased with the defensive performance for the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to blame Damien for that try, clearly. But no, it was good. We had a lot of attitude about the game, and I think, it's just a little bit of a subtle dig, but I didn't really like our attitude being about not being committed. A few weeks ago, when we were 100% committed, and I think the players showed that an All Black team always wants to turn up and play, and it really did come down to our defence today. I think largely we put them under a lot of pressure through our defence, and again we forced them into some errors, we forced them into some loose offloads, and we're able to pick up a few plums there as well. So hats off to Stormy and the work he's doing with the guys, but also to the man next to me and the desire of the group just to commit totally in that space.
Yeah, hi, Ian. Can I just get you to jump in on Akira as well, just with your view? I know you've challenged him and you've talked about wanting to see consistency from him. I don't think you have any doubt about his talent, but consistency, are you starting to see that now with another performance like we did today?
Yeah, definitely. The answer is definitely. Where we're seeing the consistency is probably on the Sunday to Friday, which is really meaning we're not sort of guessing which player is going to turn up on the Saturday. Like, he's training well. I think he's probably used to being told what he does wrong, and I think he's really responding to really focusing on what he can do right, and just seeing a little bit of a bounce in his step with that approach. And like I said, it's he's just grown up nicely, and and now that he's starting to put a couple of games together, I believe his confidence will keep growing and growing.
And just the last one from me, Artie, can you just speak to the defence? I know All Blacks traditionally known for your ability to do special things with ball in hand, but how much does defence underpin what you guys are doing at the moment?
Yeah, well, we drive a lot of our defence, and we take it quite personal. So for us, it's something we want to pride ourselves on, and I thought the boys did well in that space. We still leaked a few points, so it wasn't picture perfect. But in terms of the attitude, in terms of the boys coming off the line, and when they did make breaks, us scrambling back, you can't fault their attitude. So, I've just, the way the boys dug deep and fought right to the end, it's pretty cool.
Just Artie, afternoon test match, first one for a while. We had a couple last year, but how much of a difference does it make out there? It looked like a real lug buster? Is that how it felt?
Yeah, I was battling out there, standing in the national anthem, the sun beaming down on our black jerseys. It was different, but it was something new. We've played an afternoon game, but after not playing some footy and then playing an Arvo game with the sun beaming down, it was quite challenging for myself personally, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and just one for Ian. Just how much do you take out of a game like that, given how it got disrupted by the red card, for your next few games? Like, can you really take that as something you can build on, or do you just sort of see it as a bit of an anomaly?
Well, not being difficult. I don't quite understand the question. I think what can we take out of that performance? I take a lot out of it. We've just put three 3-0 on Australia, which we're proud of. So it was a goal that we set. So we'll take a lot of confidence from that, Jamie. I think we're going to get dealt cards with selection and injuries and all that going forward the next 4 weeks anyway, and then the 5 consecutive tests on the Northern Hemisphere too. So adapting and adjusting to pitches is going to be, there has been a theme already, and it's one that, so that's probably what makes me the most excited about the performance, you know, like that we're chopping and changing, like we had Scott Barrett, we sent Tupou to go on at 6 and he ended up, Scott Barrett said, I'm going to play 6, and Tupou went to lock. And, you know, there's little things like that where they came up with some of their own solutions. And so, you know, we'll clearly go and discuss that and figure a few things out. But I just love the thinking on the park. You know, sometimes we get critical of a team when we get stuck and we have one plan and we can't adapt and adjust. Whereas I think the attitude today in that space was brilliant, and we'll grow from that.
You got caught a couple of times being a wee bit slow to reform on the edge of the ruck. So is that more down to those positional changes you mentioned, or is it an area that you're worried about that needs a bit more work?
Yeah, good question. The answer is both. You know, there's one that we just we had the right people there, but we did get caught out, and clearly the Wallabies did well with some of their analysis of picking through that ruck and catching some of our edge defenders being a bit wide. So you have to give them a lot of credit for that. The last one was a bit niggly because that was when Scott was blindsided at a scrum, and he probably overran the short side. And so we might forgive him for that a little bit. But yeah, clearly an area we've got to keep growing. The Aussies are better than you think at attacking that space. They do a lot of work with their cleaners past the ball to disrupt your D line, and they like attacking into those close channels. So it is a big part of their game, and I guess they should be pretty happy with some of the rewards they got from it.